was, and the reason that we've had him on twice is because Dave not only is a proponent of urine therapy, but Dave is also a flat earther and also a sovereign citizen. Who to me, sovereign, you don't get anything better than a sovereign. Do you know sovereign citizens, Katie? Okay, all right, listen, I'm about to open you up to a brand new world here. I'm so excited to be the person to do this. Okay, these are the ultimate crazies. They're fantastic to watch. If you go after this show's over and you YouTube search sovereign citizens, they believe that they are not members of the United States. They are their own country. So when they get pulled over for driving, which is what's all over YouTube, they say, I'm not driving, I'm traveling, so you can't write me a ticket. And they fight all the way up to the courts, and it's fantastic to watch them and the things that they come up with. Please, I am my own entity. I am not driving is commercial purposes. I am traveling, and the Supreme Court says you cannot impede my right to travel. And they think that they have such legal standing as to everything that they do, but every time they get just completely either tased or thrown in jail are the two endings usually for these people. But great to watch. If you haven't seen them, you have to go watch them.
I feel like they probably watch and listen to InfoWars, right? Like,
oh yeah,
this is like Alex Jones's like people, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But they think they have standing. And he was all three of those rolled into one person. So
well, I feel like a lot of these people are because Jillian, she thinks she believes in chemtrails, right?
Yes, she does.
Right? She's anti-vax. She's anti-medicine. Yeah. She believes that we all exist in a matrix. Right? From the movie The Matrix. Listen, like it was a movie. It's not real.
Yeah,
Simulation
red
theory.
Or blue pill. Which one did you take?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people there's a lot of people that believe that we live in a simulation theory, though. Surprising to me, I was actually shocked to find out how many people think that's a possibility. To me, I always go with a simple rule. The dullest answer is usually the truest. Like people want to make up this into like we are downloaded into a simulation and we're running simulations as a society. And once we get to that point, they say that once we get to the point where we're able to do that, it's more plausible that we are in a simulation. And you know who the biggest proponent of this theory is? Elon Musk, the genius that is sending us to all of these planets. He is the biggest subscriber.
Okay, so total like diatribe here though, but I kind of like feel like Elon Musk, from like everything I see from him on Twitter, is that he might be having like a mental breakdown or something.
I think he is. I agree with that.
And I feel I actually think he might be running the world's largest Ponzi scheme with Tesla. I don't know that it's actually legit what they do. Like,
to be fair,
he's a mad genius. Was what he is. He's a crazy genius.
They don't make cars though, right? They're not even profitable. They like lose millions of dollars billions of dollars.
It's really weird. I met somebody who works for Elon Musk when I went to NASA back in May. So there's this girl that I've been trying. I've been trying to get her on one of my shows. And she said she would, but it's really weird. So I was trying to coordinate with her. But she was pulled from another car company like Hyundai or something like that. And she started working for Elon for the Tesla model. And it's like really hard to nail her down now, but it's like, it's such a weird thing because she said there were so many problems associated with like the Tesla car. I don't know.
I was reading an article on Forbes. So I was reading this article on Forbes when he was like, he's being investigated now by the SEC or something for insight. Like
SEC,
he said on Twitter that he might like go private, and so they're trying to determine if he said that to artificially spike his stock prices because like as soon as he said that, the stock went like
trading and all that.
Yeah. Well, I've never even paid attention to this lunatic until I saw like on CNN that like Tesla was like losing money left and right, and they're like billions of dollars. Like the last 2 years, they haven't even turned a profit. So that's why I feel like it's a Ponzi scheme. Like he's getting all these people interested in these cars that don't do anything, and then he can't even produce.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of a lot of his profitability comes from the investments in SpaceX, which he also runs. So even if he is losing money on Tesla, he's making up for that in what he's doing with SpaceX, because NASA is and several other space governments are contracting him to send runs up to the ISS and those kind of things. He's out there.
He can do reusable rocket. I mean, the fact that he can reuse rockets is probably pretty high on the NASA agenda.
Okay, so Tesla's just like his side project of Ponzi, right?
It's a plaything. It's a plaything for him. Okay. Because
I have to say,
space for him is like the best, they're the biggest frontier, and what he's doing the most with. And although he is strange, I will admit, and I will concede that he is strange. He is streamlining at least the space race, and getting that back into people's imagination. Where I think that's been lost.
Do you think he's going to be like the first? Do you think he's going to be like the first colonel or commander of the Space Force?
Absolutely.
Probably not. I don't know. I disagree with that.
Absolutely.
I disagree with that. I will say, I think he's on the verge of ultra sexiness when it comes to sustainable energy. So when it comes to like the solar panels, okay, no, I'm talking like sustainable energy, because one of the things that's a big issue, especially in California, some of the southern states aren't allowed to indulge in his type of technology because of the Tennessee Valley Authority. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they own a lot of the electrical lines. So a lot of the southern states, you go out west, you can rent like solar panels and batteries and things like that, like direct TV systems. So you can do like satellite, how you have like a satellite and you can get all kinds of cool technology in regards to TV shows and stuff. Well, you can do that in California, but a lot of the southern states don't allow that type of technology where you can rent a solar panel system.
Or you mean like a solar garden?
Kind of like that, to where you could get like a solar panel system installed on your house and rent it like it was like a direct TV type of satellite system where you pay a certain amount every month. That's not allowed in a lot of the southern states because of the Tennessee Valley Authority. So what makes Elon Musk a little bit sexy is that he has affordable batteries that you can hang on your freaking wall and just say, okay, you can buy his stuff, have it be within code, install it in your house without any particular issues associated with the local government, throw it in and contribute to the grid, get money back like people like Bill Nye and other people are doing, to where they can actually contribute energy to the grid and they can, get a net profit. You can't do that a lot in the southern states because of the fact that whoever builds the lines owns the lines. So if you do try to do some kind of solar system, there's a lot of freaking regulations and stuff involved. So where I think Elon is going to shine is the renewable energy aspect. Because that's not available for everyone. It's money. And if you're able to do that within code in the southern states, you contribute to the grid and get a paycheck. I'm just saying.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Hey, well, we have a solar garden being built like a mile from our house, like several 100 acres maybe, and they're just putting in like a whole bunch of solar panels, and people buy it and then. Yeah,
it needs to happen. I mean, it's kind of like I don't believe that we don't have the technology to make cars that run, on anything but gas. It's just it's controlled by oil companies and lobbyists, and they're not going to let that happen. There's too much money in those kind of things. So with
right, and the oil,
yeah,
and the biggest climate deniers are the oil companies, right? Or
oh yeah,
oh my God, yes,
of course,
oh yes.
We have,
and then they're the rich Southern men from Texas, and so they use their religion to say like, oh, we're not doing anything to the climate; it's totally fine.
Right. We have Dr. Ward, who is he's a climate change. That's what he does. He studies it. He's actually coming on in 2 weeks to go through how bad it's gotten since. I believe he goes back 100 years. But some of the things that I looked at of his work that he did, it's unbelievable. The Greenland alone, when you look at the ice shifts that happen on Greenland, there's like a 50-year period where it's minimal. You see, in the seasons where it's melting and then coming back, but it doesn't fluctuate that much. And then it gets to a point about 30 years ago where it's just dramatic. I mean, the changes that you see in those, because they did like aerial shots every so often, and it's amazing the amount of loss that you lose there. And you just can't deny that. Anybody that can deny that that's happening, I think, is either blind or stupid. You have to be either one of those.
Yeah, I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio actually did a documentary on the topic, and he went around the world to the different places that are affected right now by climate change. And he went to Greenland. And they have like active scientists up there that have like measurements where they have like everything on lines, and they have it up there in like in the North Pole as well as in the South Pole, where they measure like how much the how much the ice has gone down.
Sea level.
And like to sea level. And like he went into like what I actually found was insane was he went to Miami, right? And Miami has to like raise up some of their street levels right now because their sea level has like come so high up that like some of their roads are literally underwater.
Yep. If it continues this way, the like Florida Key West and the tip of Florida it just won't be there anymore. I mean, because it will run over Florida.
Well, yeah, and they went to different like islands in the Pacific and in the Atlantic that literally like have had people having to leave islands because there's literally like it's gone.
Yep. And the increase in hurricanes, there's all kind of like signs that are happening all around the world that people, I don't know how or why, but they just refuse to admit that there's a problem. And I don't understand why they won't admit there's a problem. Like, you see these things happening, they're a symptom of an issue, and they still, in the face of all of this evidence, will say, well, the science isn't in on any of that yet. But the science is in on that. It absolutely is in on that.
Yeah, there's like an international weather place that looks at them, right? That looks at all weather changes, and they monitor all of that.
But there's several. NOAA is one because of Elon.
NOAA.
Mel.
Yeah. I gave you $2 because of Elon.
I think Mel wants to make out with Elon, actually.
She does.
No,
there's
I
a lot
really
of sexual
don't.
tension there.
I don't.
There's
really not. There's not. He's gonna have to do a lot of things in order to get that to go. So it's like we are not gonna be up for liftoff if he doesn't do a lot of freaking things. So I'm just saying.
He's got a lot of things to do before she'll ride that rocket, right?
And the rocket is just not there. There has to be things outside the rocket in itself in order for that ride to happen. I'm just saying.
Beast Nation 2009 says, I love these shows, and it's time I donate something. Thank you very much for that. I love these shows as well. Dave, do you have any more super chats before we get? In just a second, we're going to open up to questions. If anybody's got any questions for you guys in the live chat, but Dave, do you have any?
I have personal questions and nobody ever answers them, so I feel like personally offended on something.
Okay, we'll find.